better.
Okay, so let's make another very cool rhythm bass, and the method will be a very similar thing that we had previously. So for the first step, let's go oscillator B and draw in the same waveform that we used previously. Something like, well, something like this. Yeah, I think this is similar, so it will sound like a distorted sine wave or something. For oscillator A, I want to call in a special waveform or special wavetable, which, as you can see, contains two saw waves combined together, a normal saw wave and a high-pitched saw wave. So they are combined together, and when I go to the end of the wavetable, they are FM'd together. So this is the main wavetable, and what I want to do is use oscillator A as the main output. So I want to use LE41 to drag it and modulate it basically. And obviously I want to use FM from A on oscillator B. Let's use LE41 to modulate it. But it's like, it's very weird now, so let's crank up the octaves on oscillator A. So we just turn our sound into instant rhythm. But we don't stop here. Let's play with the wavetable position. Okay, so this can be cool, and let's play around with that too, using LE41. And maybe a band plus minus warping mode on oscillator A can come handy. Okay, very cool. Let's add the sub and do the same with that too. Okay, cool. Now I want to add a filter, and this time we go to flanges. Flange H6 minus or plus, we will see. And the reason why we don't hear any effect is because we are using oscillator B as the main output. So let's switch that. Okay, this is a cool sound, and to make the sound very wide, I want to modulate the pen knob a little, but just a very, very short amount, in a very short range. So we don't want to detune our sound and make the sound like totally untonal because of the huge difference between the right and the left channel. And maybe we can modulate the cutoff also. Again, just very, very narrow modulation. Okay, this is cool. Let's try to add some noise to it. This is an interesting tone to it, by the way. I pretty like it. Okay, let's go to the effects now. And for the first, like always, I want to use a hyper dimension. But let's modulate it too. Okay, like always, I want to use this EQ modulation, you know, where we make a sort of wobbly EQ peaks in the spectrum. Like very similar that we used previously, and use LE41 to drag them back and forth, these little EQ peaks. Okay, now let's distort it, and this will make our sound a lot better, because you know these little peaks always behave pretty well with distortion. And also I want to use a filter to filter out the very tops, and obviously modulate that using LE41. So this is making our sound a lot fatter, like giving some more middle frequencies or middle bass frequencies. But to even them out, we need a compressor in OTC mode, well, like always. And an all-pass filter to the end, which is my favorite, to add some more noisy character, noisy tone to the top of the sound. Okay, so I tried to play a little with these settings, and now I want to use LE42 to add some more modulation to it. So like putting this on the wavetable position and maybe on the band, yeah, warping mode on oscillator A, so this is the band plus minus. And what I want to do here is make it a little slower, and let's use a different sort of modulation to it, like, well, I don't know, just a sawtooth, well, not a sawtooth, like teeth kind of shape. I don't know how to describe it, like teeth or something like that. Again, trigger mode. Maybe we can make it faster. Okay, and one more thing, to play around a little with the rhythm of that, I want to make another LE4, and this time, so if you push shift, you can make this stepper kind of thing. This is very good if you want to stay to the grid and stick to the grid basically. Okay, and for this I need to go to the matrix tab, and let's use LE43 as a modulator for LE41 Where are you, LE4? LE4 1 rate. Okay, so this is it, but in one direction. But this is too fast. Okay, so I had to fix this noisy tail issue, and I think that could be another solution to fix this problem by modulating the resonance. So let me go back a little. Yeah, that's a cool thing, and if you want, you can make the sound even fatter by adding unison voices. But actually, I'm not a big fan of that, but if you want, you can do that. And this is a sound, I think it sounds pretty good, but to make it even fatter, I need to add more effects to it. So first of all, let's try a saturator, and this will turn our sound even fatter instantly. If I push it up, okay, and like previously, let's try a phaser. Here you are. So as you can hear, the sound turned into a more barky kind of sound, like an animal voice. And also turned a lot cleaner. Okay, let's add an EQ, because there is a frequency I want to boost a little here, like previously in the previous video. And I also took care of that very irritating frequency range at around 6 and 7K. And also I added a little top. Okay, and let's try an OTT just with a very short amount. Yeah, very cool. And a saturator to the end to act it like a limiter, basically. And from this point, you can play around with the LFO if you want, like trying different shapes and like using it in one per. Okay, we are acting this weird noise, so this is where I like to use a gate. Now it is in quiet. So getting back to the LFO, let's try this guy, like going a little higher. oops, I think this is too much. We need to go a little slower in the second half of this LFO. And as a final step, you can add the reverb. But you need to modulate it, because you don't want to have too much stuff going out. Just to make it sound a little more interesting and a lot wider. Okay, so this was it. I hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video, we're going forward and making other very cool rhythm basses.